everybody, and welcome back to AGP. We are live here on a Monday night for another creator podcast. Of course, with me is my right hand, the person who thinks she owns the company, my dog, Fizzgig. We're going to go ahead and get this out of the way so we can enjoy our guest tonight, or else it's going to be another Fizzgig podcast. As always, I am your host. I am Amanda, the owner-operator of AGP, and we have someone who has come back from the mist. He had disappeared for years and years and years and years. He's still unshaven, though, so we appreciate that. He's a great friend. Everybody welcome my buddy, Marc! Woo!
There's just a white wall in front of me, but that's all right. I can pretend.
I like the barn doors and the fact that they're open like you were born in a barn going on in the background.
That's a feature we added to this house. So it's always it's good for the Zoom calls because it does look good, as well as like tons of boxes and clutter.
Look, the boxes just means you've been busy.
Exactly. That's well, in fact, you can see like I got short boxes on top of printers boxes. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Okay, so I just have one question for you. Where the hell have you been, man?
We haven't left. We've been out and about. Just depends on where you've been looking. But yeah, I mean, aside from a year off for the pandemic, we've still been doing shows, usually about 4 to 6 a year, give or take. This year, I think we're clocking in at 6. Yeah.
I did too. I'm good. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, we try to get out as much as we can, but yeah, you know, kids and schedules and trying to get 3 guys.
Honey, kids are easy. You just super glue or duct tape them to the wall.
I can
put a little feeding bag underneath them. They'll be fine.
All right, I got plans. I mean, I just usually keep the Nerf guns handy. I just no.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, I still run Gym City Comic Con, and last Christmas, a friend of mine bought me a spring-loaded Jurassic World Nerf gun.
Nice.
That thing hurts.
Oh yeah. Well, like I've got all sorts of. Like, I'm never not within arm's reach of a Nerf gun. It's just, it's part of my personal brand. So
when did they start making the tips so hard?
Oh man, a while ago. Like they got rid of the suction cups. I want to say like 2004.
Yeah, well, I popped that thing in. I was like, all right, well, it's a Nerf gun. At point blank range, shot the guy who gave it to me, and oops.
Oh yeah, no, that'll do it. And even now, like the funny thing is, especially like this one, these are half size. They're half size darts, so they hurt even more.
Yeah, I'm telling you, how did Nerf get away with that? Because you hear all these things. Oh, that's too dangerous. But here we are, Nerf gun. Bam.
You know, even at point. Okay, so here we go. I have a Nerf rifle that's kind of tucked behind that bookshelf over there. It is so a normal Nerf gun. You go to the store, it says Nerf, you buy it. That shoots at about 75 feet per second. Okay, 75. The gun I have behind that bookshelf shoots 375. If I stand right where I am and we open those barn doors and there's a whole bunch of boxes there, if I shoot one of those boxes, will break, go right through it. And you would think, obviously, like that would really smart. I shot Unshaven Matt right in the back, and all he did is laugh.
Okay, so Unshaven Matt could take a paint gun then. Okay, cool. Got that. 100%. Let me write that down.
Yep. No, we're those kind of idiots. So
you're talking to someone who lets people donate $100 to a children's charity and then goes and tases people for it.
Why not?
Hi, Cassie.
Hi there.
So you gave me a whole lot of news you got to go through.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since we've been able to like say anything. Our last book came out 5 years ago. So
I know.
Yeah, but
by the way, get used to this because she thinks, okay, cool. There's a puppy treat.
Oh no, absolutely, she's adorable, and trust me, like we should try to tally how many times she pops up and how many one of my kids just decide to like traipse through. So
I confirm I've been taxed by this. Yes, Cassie. Oh no, this one, she thinks she owns this company.
well, I mean, is it okay to like share?
Yeah, sure. Well, okay, so a little insight with her is on my channel, when you follow my channel and you watch it, you earn what are called channel points. And for 500 channel points, you can give her a puppy treat.
Oh, look at that.
And
Wow.
she knows this.
Well, that's just smart. I mean, this, you know, the funny thing is I've always been curious about the whole Twitch stream thing. And Unshaven Comics likes to stay about 5 years behind the curve. So
Okay,
maybe
so it's about time now.
it might be about time we consider it, because like, you know, watch this transition. As part of our new site relaunch, and we'll talk about why that happened in a second, we have brought back the Unshaven Rantcast. The first episode's out. It's on Spotify, and we'll be recording the second episode when we go down to Dragon Con, because it'll be a rare time when all of us can actually get around the mic. And I think my fancy microphone, yeah, it has a setting that's supposed to like go 360. So we're gonna try like all in the room, all talking at the same time, like we used to do, and then like stopped because before the whole pandemic thing, Zoom wasn't a thing. So the auto recording of a Zoom meeting was not a thing. And when I tried to get the instructions on how to like record a Skype podcast and have it like go into channels and stuff, I worked with a bunch of audio engineers and they tried to explain it to me. And I was like, can we just trade? I'll like draw you something and you can do this for me. And they're like, no, not at all. I want to see you suffer.
Yeah, well, Zoom and Skype suck. StreamYard's the best. Ooh, can I get a sponsorship now?
I think so. Well, I've been on a couple that have used StreamYard and I love it. So
I love StreamYard. One of the things that's really cool about StreamYard is, yes, it does have a freestyle. So if you do end up doing the free, the biggest thing is that you're going to have their logo up at the top like that, powered by StreamYard. Oh. If you pay, depending on which one you pay, will allow you to change it to your own logos. You can pull up graphics for the front.
Ooh.
You saw the videos that I've been able to add to. You could put in backgrounds.
Whoa. Well, I mean, I know this is not an infomercial for it, but geez, I'd say, hey, if your fans demand that Unshaven Comics needs to get on StreamYard, then we'll, like, trust me, if you say jump, we will say how high.
I say if you're going to do this podcast, this allows you to be able, because, you know, you can see how easy it was to get on.
Yeah.
You can see how smooth it works. You can link it directly to your Twitch. And until you become affiliated or partnered with Twitch, you can actually link it to your Facebook, YouTube, Twitch account and stream something like this at the exact same time on all three of those accounts. And if you look over, there's a little chat. The chat will allow you to see all the chats from everything. And if there's a chat that you would like to show everybody, we'll just show Cassie's. You can click on it and their chat comes down. So like if they had a question while you guys were talking and you wanted everybody to read it at the same time, including the people that are watching, bam.
Look at that. All right. This has been sponsored by StreamYard, everybody. StreamYard.
I wish it was sponsored by StreamYard.
Hey, fake it till you make it.
I do have my few sponsors, both the Gym City Comic Con and 2 comic book creators, Mest Comics and Haslam Productions.
Awesome. Yeah, Gem City. Speaking of, I know that we've not been in Ohio in a while, and
no, you haven't. That's why I asked, where have you been?
Now, part of that was because Kyle in Unshaven Comics, the third Unshaven comic, his parents were in Carlisle, Ohio, and his father passed away, and his mom moved in to his house in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So they kind of got out of Wisconsin, and like all of a sudden, when we didn't have like the free room and board, like, well, do we have something new to bring to Ohio? And we've been there with the trade. And I was like, we if we went, it's because we really want to go. And there's a couple of cities in Ohio we really, really love. Yours, of course. And Second to that would be, I think, Columbus is really cool. They have that sausage house, Schmitz. That's just, it's amazing. Feel free to cut that up all you'd like, people. And then we've never done a show in Cleveland, but I really like Cleveland, and I would like to go back there.
Cleveland's great. What better city than one that has set their river on fire twice?
Hey, I live in Chicago. We do that daily. That's just kind of a thing. No, my wife and I, on our honeymoon way back when, stopped in Cleveland, and there was a little place called Lucky's Cafe, which we had seen on Food Network, I think. And they were super awesome. Like, we went there, and it's just like a little mom and pop bakery sandwich shop, but it's all like super farm to table. So even the grapes they give you were grown in the backyard, like that level of farm to table, right? So we told them, oh, we're on our big trip. This is our honeymoon. They sent us on our way with free cookies. So once you've given me a free cookie, I'm like, I immediately love your city. We'll be back. Just
I want a free cookie.
I know. Well, go to Lucky's, tell them I sent you, and
okay.
when they say, "Who the hell is that?" just have them bill me. No one.
Hi, welcome back.
Did you have a question? Oh my God, that's adorable.
So let me properly introduce you to my Chihuahua. This is his gig.
That's like a long-haired Chihuahua?
Yeah, she's a long-haired Chihuahua with she is a mutt, so she's also part terrier and part Pomeranian. Yes, hi.
Oh, and she knows how to ask. That's adorable.
She's my baby.
Well, before this is all over, give me like a 10-minute warning, and I'll bring in my equivalent.
Okay.
May not be as dog cute, but I would say equally cute and loves dogs. So.
Oh, I have a cat too, Lieutenant Savage, but she ain't coming onto this show. She doesn't come into my office.
Well, that's
versus me and my dog, we live in my office.
Yeah, same, but it's all right. My office is kind of the epicenter of the house. People have to go through here to see me. So,
honey, you have 15-minute cooldown times before treats. You still have 8 more minutes before you can get another one.
Treat again.
No. You cannot touch the mouse. Help.
This is beyond my control.
Anyway, so you've been busy.
Yes.
We have comics. We have a new podcast. We've got a new vamp on the website. Tell me everything.
Okay, girl. So first and foremost, I personally, I think the most important thing here, Samurnauts to the max. We are bringing back, well, we never stopped bringing Samurnauts, but now, since we finished the trade, what Matt, Kyle, and I had come up with on kind of that ride home when we do all of our company business is I made a challenge. I said, I think the three of us should each take our own book. And, Kyle will partner with an artist, and Matt will have somebody help with the writing. Matt's going to do the story, but like the actual words on page, someone will help kind of grift those out. But I was like, we'll make it a contest. We'll see who can actually get their book done first. And after you two lose, I can rub your faces in it. And they were like, oh, no way, dude. And to which I was like, well, Kyle, you're going to lose because we can control when your artist gets hired, and I'll just make sure you lose. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. But Matt and I have been working tirelessly on our each independently doing a new Samurnaut book in different eras, all telling different stories that have kind of rolled out from the trade. So I am doing Samurnauts to the max. It's Samurnauts of the 1980s. And as a personal challenge to myself, I wanted the book to have all female action, female Samurnauts, female villains, and in fact, the only dudes in the book is one villain and Master Al, the Kung Fu Monkey Master. But it's set in the 80s. It's not really about, girl power or anything. It's just a good comic that just happens to be about some girls that attend a concert. It's the Rockin' Fu concert at the dojo. When the evil Cossack cadre attack, 5 women who do not know each other band together because they are good citizens. and they try to help Master Al. And I won't give away the rest of the issue itself, but I can say 80s hijinks ensue. This is the first of 3 issues coming out. This first one is done, and then I will be starting production on books 2 and 3 starting in November. I'm getting all of the models back. So
Now, of course, for those who do not know the Samurnauts,
yes,
tell them a little bit about the original series.
so the Samurnauts are samurai astronauts led by an immortal kung fu monkey defending the Earth from all sorts of crazy villains, including transforming demon dinosaurs from another dimension, zombie cyborgs, space pirates, the aforementioned Cossack cadre, and we have some other fun villains coming out very soon. Kyle's book is actually going to be featuring Rep Simeon, an evil monkey dinosaur hybrid, kind of like a big, like, he is his own boss. There's no other, like, he's just there and he's going to beat them all down. And Matt's doing a book set in 1920s Mexico. That's going to be La Noche de los Luchanauts, in which the Samurnaut luchadors face off against an evil ancient Aztec succubus and his little team of evil Mexican wrestlers.
Holy crap!
Like, if you're not pushing the fun, why are you doing this? So
So, I've always been a fan of the comic. I think I got all the way up before I stopped. I hadn't seen you guys since you did before you did the trade. That's before you did the trade was the last time I got to see you guys. So I never got the trade. So I need that. So make sure we find out where I can go get that. But I always loved it because, I'm a huge, Voltron, 80s, sci-fi, Power Rangers nut. So obviously this was it was a great comic for me because it really fit that whole anime Japanese type style with a little bit of extra flair, a little bit of twists and turns that you didn't see coming. I love your idea because now it's like you're like, and then I threw in Gem and the holograms. What the hell?
Why not? Yeah, that's when he's an immortal kung fu monkey. This was our whole point, right? So the whole series itself started as a joke. We were trying to make our fans see what would happen if we ever sold out by making this fake advertisement. Don't even worry about it. Closes. The whole notion was like Matt, Kyle, and I had done this series called Disposable Razors, which was us being our angsty teen, our angsty like 20-year-old selves, just getting all the violence and 4-letter words out of our system. And we had a blank back cover in issue 1. And Matt, Kyle, and I, as we were wont to do, went to Baker Square. Double points if anybody knows what that is anymore. But we went out for pie and coffee. And I said, well, I got this blank back page. We should make an advertisement for like something we'll never do, like something where the fans would be like, oh, they sold out. And we just started taking notes. And our friendship started in 1993 when all of us met in 6th grade, when the Power Rangers hit. So that was that show, the Power Rangers, when we were coming up. That was the litmus test. If you actually liked the show and you said it, you were a baby. Like what, when you're going into 6th grade, you don't watch cartoons anymore. You watch sports and well, blah, blah, blah. We were sitting back going like, this show sucks. By the way, did you see when the Megazord got the extra sword attack? That was great. And then like some people would walk by like, and it's stupid.
I love the fact that for you guys, it was like, oh, we're in the 6th grade. We're big kids now. We can't watch this. 1993 was 4 years before I graduated high school, okay? And we were watching it. High school students were watching it, but you guys were afraid you were going to be in trouble at the 6th grade.
It's just that, it's how it was on the schoolyard. But like, so we never, like, we always had that in our back pocket. We loved the show, but we had all of these gripes that you would watching that show. We're like, how dumb are the villains when they're only attacking a suburb of Los Angeles every day at 3:00? It's going to become a little predictable. Also, if you worked in that red building, what was the insurance premium? Because it got destroyed every other week. So we had like all those listed out. And I'm like, well, this is a good direction. Like, let's start vetting this out. Well, like, okay, so if we did our own Power Rangers thing, how would we make it different? And Kyle had just watched Samurai Jack, the episode where he was out in space. And he was like, he's just sitting there while Matt and I are like bandying about a bunch of ideas. And then Kyle just, all of a sudden, like the bell chimes. He's like, Samurnauts. And we're like, what? He goes, samurai astronauts, Samurnauts. I just saw this on Samurai Jack. Like, that's a thing. And then Matt, being Matt, he's like, it needs a monkey. And I was like, an immortal monkey? And then it's like an immortal kung fu monkey in space. And then like that says, okay, stop. Everybody take the note. Matt drew the fake advertisement. We threw it into the back of issue 1 of Disposable Razors and said, coming the summer of 2020, blah, blah, blah. When we finished Disposable Razors issue 2, and we're sitting around and we're like, Matt did 1 issue, I did the 2nd issue, and we're like, well, what's the 3rd one going to be about? Because Kyle's not an artist, and what
Shame on you, Kyle.
No, not the machine. But like I looked at the ad, I'm like, with Matt and I about to become dads, because it's like 2011, we knew we were going to be dads the following year. I'm like, why aren't we doing the Samurnauts? That just sounds like fun. And Matt's like, it does sound like fun. You're going to do half the art. I'm like, but I just do colors and the covers. He's like, no, half art. I'm bigger than you. Shut up. I was like, okay. And it like that when we put out that very first book, which eventually became Samurnauts Genesis, like that's where we kind of had we must have hit something, because this whole notion of different art styles, different time periods, and it takes itself seriously, as serious as you can make a book about an immortal kung fu monkey fighting zombie cyborg space pirates. Like the Power Rangers would take itself seriously, even though they had a pig that just had limbs growing out of its giant head. You just have to take it for what it's worth.
And what season of Power Rangers are we on now?
Oh, I couldn't possibly tell you. I fell off after Rocky. And that whole remember when the 3 left for like a peace accord in Sweden, and then they had 3 new. They had a new red, yellow, and I want to say Black Ranger, Johnny Young Bosch. That's when he joined in. We fell off after that. Like then there was like Power Rangers RPM and the Disco Turbo Squad. I respect it. It ain't for me. But we still look, we're still big kids. If the Zords come out, we all kind of look at them. We're like, well, that's still cool.
I kind of watch it.
Hey, I like, you know what? Trust me, whether
Dude,
it's kids or not.
Rita Repulsa became a good guy.
Does she still have the cone titties?
No, she, what was it? Hold on. She became the Mystic Mother.
Interesting. Like the one thing
and now she's bad again because they just came out with that new Netflix Power Rangers thing and yada 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 yada. So she fell from grace and now she's back to being evil and this and that and the whole 9 yards. And
there's a lot to mine there. So like good on her, but like the one thing that no one seemed to talk about with Rita very specifically, that gal had an arm. And I know like she's always in like robes and stuff. She could hurl a staff from the moon to California. Like, she should have just been a pitcher. Like, why even try to take over the world? She could have just, like, pitched for, I don't know, the Los Angeles Angels or the Dodgers. Could have made a fortune and maybe paid off some of those. Like,
maybe that's the reason why she decided to take over the world is she auditioned and they were all moonist and they didn't like moon people.
That could very well be. Or, you know what? If they saw that she was hanging out with a dude without skin, and they're like, what the hell was that? And she's like, I'm turned on by skinless dudes who also have staffs, but with their leads. Like that,
but in the beginning, she wasn't hanging out with Lord Zed. And let's face it, she had the greatest minion in the world, Goldar.
Oh yeah, Goldar was pretty damn badass. But he was offset by the 2 Yutzes, like the blue thing with the monocle, and then the short blue thing with the pineapple coming out of his helmet. All I'm saying is, like, if you have a miracle oven that makes monsters out of clay, next time don't do 1 a day. Do 12.
No. Yeah.
And maybe attack a different country.
Maybe attack kids who don't wear the colors of their Zords.
That could very well be. I mean, like, that must have been the worst kept secret in Angel Grove High. Like, what are those 5 kids who are, like, oddly nice to everybody wearing those gigantic, dorky wristwatches?
And why do they only wear the one color ever?
It's a little problematic, but I don't think anyone would have said anything to the Black Ranger. I think
Well,
because he was like doing like the breakdance foo thing, and then everyone they wouldn't have picked on they would have picked on Billy, I suppose. I don't
I
know.
would have been picking on Kimberly. I'd be like, girl, don't you got anything that's not pink?
Yeah, I don't know. She seems the type where like she must like really love Jesus or something. You're just like, well, maybe it's just a thing.
Could you try a purple? No.
You would hope so, but I just again like it's problematic enough that those 5 people always hung out and they always seem to need to go in the vestibule of the juice bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then mysteriously go away for an hour and then just come back after half the town and that red building were destroyed.
Yeah.
So the Samurnauts has absolutely none of that. So
Oh well.
sorry, we left that to them. But like so in any event, Samurnauts to the Max is now out. It's actually available for purchase if you go to unshavencomics.com, and it's really debuting at Dragon Con when we bring all of our boxes down there. And we will see if we can't. We're going to see what people think of it. I'm really excited to have that on the table at the same time as Genesis and the trade we just reprinted for the 3rd time. It's the brand that will never fail us. And Kyle's still doing his side projects as well. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming out. Kyle just last year dropped his book Blooms: Heist on the Magical Girl Vault. So if you're a fan of Sailor Moon meets Ocean's 11, he knocked that one out of the park. I'm on a personal mission, by the way, to guilt him into doing more Blooms because I think he's actually got something there. Hey, look at that!
There. I found it.
Yeah, you did. Shout out to Mary McGinnis for the painted cover.
Very nice.
Yes.
Look, it's only $5 for shipping and handling.
Yes. So I would say I think it's $7.50 after you pay for shipping, but that's literally coming from my room, signed by me, shipped to you, bagged and boarded, ready to go. So.
And I do want you to pay attention to something. 24 pages of awesomeness.
Yes.
It's not a weirdo comic.
No, we try to make this. I assume 24 pages is still considered a standard issue. Back in the day, we used to do like between 24 and 32, and then Samurnauts, Curse of the Dreadnoughts, like the issues were all over the place.
I'm sorry, but did your kid just put himself in the corner?
No, he's peering into the dining room and trying to get in, but he can't seem to figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, there he goes. And now he's going to get in. Oh, you're good. It's okay. we got I got my cute one down here. Hi. You want to come here and say hi?
Yes, come here, say hi.
Come here. Come on. Yeah, there we go. All right, everybody. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you've been busy since you've been gone.
Yeah, I mean, look, the train is over. I've got enough. We have our girl now. This is Mara.
Hi, Mara.
Like Aquaman's wife, Mara.
Hi.
You say hi? Yeah, she's waving.
Cookie?
Yeah, Cookie.
I don't have any cookies.
It's okay. She has a dog.
I have a puppy.
You want to see the dog?
Fizzy, come here.
Say.
Where'd she go? Hi, baby. Come here. Come here. Baby wants. Oh, come here.
It's a puppy.
It is. Can you say hi?
Got a cookie.
Yeah, puppy. She loves dogs.
Here, since you're such a good girl, there you go.
There you go. All right, are you just you're gonna show with me on the interview?
Okay.
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 Oh, please don't turn down my gain. There you go.
We're talking comics. Is that okay?
Yeah, you like comics, right?
Mm.
Okay. She tolerates it.
It pays the bills, Dad. No.
It does. No, I mean, she likes books, and if I gave her one of my comics, I assume somewhere in between murdering each page individually, she'd enjoy it.
I'm sure she would.
Yes.
Oh, well, let me snooze. No. All right, pre-warning, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you're getting an ad in about 40 seconds. That's how I make money.
Hey, ads. Look, if we could have ads, my book would have been 50 pages. Don't worry.
So
Again.
on top of the new comic and everybody doing versions of the comic, in your podcast, there's been a revamp of the website.
Yes. So,
Because I want this story.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Mommy.
you want down? Okay. Hold on.
Oh, never mind. You guys are just talking. Never mind. I gotta go, Dad.
Yeah. I don't know. Can I help you?
My pap,
Okay. Here. Do you want this? There you go. All right. So, about 2 years ago, I got a error warning on my email saying your email is down. I'm like, well, my email is like Unshaven Comics online at the time, and I was like, well, that's not Gmail. So what's going on? So I went and called my. Okay, I'll take it. I called my web guy and I said, hey, Niles, what's happening with the website? Why is my email down? And he's like, oh, hold on, give me a sec. Comes back 5-10 minutes later. Well, you don't have a site. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And he goes, your whole site has been taken down. And I go, what? And he goes, and here's the thing. He's like, it's been taken down and they deleted everything. They deleted it right off my server, and I'm really sorry. I don't have backups, so it's gone. Gone. Well, apparently some Russians or the Chinese, I'm not kidding, just came in to this random dude's server and destroyed anything they could get their hands on, including the Unshaven Comics site, all 169 episodes of our podcast, our web comics. Now, granted, I have all the material. It's still on my hard drive.
Thank God.
But like the whole site just absolutely decimated. And to be fair to us, we hadn't touched the site since 2015. Like it was there. Like we didn't support it. So it wasn't like we were like, oh no, we're ruined. It was just sort of, okay.
Thanks, guys. Save me the trouble.
So, like with this book dropping, the notion was, well, we should probably get the site back. And for the first time ever, Unshaven Comics was in the black, and I was like, well, how about this? I don't want to have to build the site again, but let me find a partner who can work with me so that I can do what I do best: draw it up, write it up, and have them do all like the backstage building so that I can pick up the ball when we're done. And I found a lovely gentleman named Larry, and Larry built the site with me off of comps that I designed. And then I've actually kept him on for my next shameless plug, working on the Pokemon mashup website. So we have a web guy now. The Unshaven Comics site was all finished up and tightened up last week. So all of it works now. All the links work, the books work. You can go to the Sammernaut page and learn all about the Sammernauts. And we have our podcast on the front page. So like it's all there. It's backed up. It's nowhere that the Russians or the Chinese can take down, and it's backed up daily. So this will not happen to us again. Knock on wood. And we're excited that again, like we're back, and I'm hopeful. Like there was a time when having your own website mattered, and then it didn't. And I'm hopeful it's coming back again. So now people.
It's coming back. The thing is everybody's online.
Yes. And as much as we're social and we're on, we still have our Facebook group and we still have Instagram, and we're looking at other things. The website is a great place to kind of house all of our stuff. And you never know what's coming down the pike. You got to look professional. And as we've come to realize, we've been doing this for 15 years. You better have a place to kind of celebrate all that stuff. So.
Oh, yeah. And I think the website's a really good idea. Obviously, in your profession, Facebook is a really good idea because that's where a lot of the older people are. Sorry, that's just where the older people are.
It's
but
true.
the young kids, the new age kids, they're on. I'm sorry, it's still Twitter. I'm not calling it X. You can
No, it's
just
yeah.
no, it's Twitter, Instagram. The new threads, a lot of people are really interested in that. I'm hoping that they end up bringing it to PC soon instead of just being an app on the phone.
That's kind of my thing. Like I'm a desktop.
I'm a desktop person. As
Yeah.
soon as threads comes to the desktop, Twitter's gone for me.
Yeah, that's probably the same here. Yeah, and that's we had a Twitter for half a minute, but it's like one of those things where like we genuinely ask the fans we catch at Comic Cons, and they're the ones who usually tell us where they go. Instagram seems to be like anybody young would find us there, and I will say, like my grand experiment, by the way, with social media is over. There was a time when we got ever so close to capital H Hollywood, and I was told politely, no one will talk to us until we have 10,000 fans. So if you're not even there, don't ever come a calling, because that's all Hollywood was looking for. It's what kind of fan base did you bring on yourself? And our curmudgeonly cheapskate bearded asshole types were like, well, we're not buying fans. We're not spending money on ads. Every fan we earn is a fan we actually earn. So if we're going to top out at 3,500, great. It's 3,500 people that didn't know me yesterday that have known me now for the last 15 years. I did have a guru friend who stopped me and lectured me, and I'm like, you know that I'm a marketing director by day, but go on. And she told me, well, you gotta post, daily. You gotta put pictures. You gotta put questions of the day, get people engaged. We did it for the better part of 5 years, and while we always had a great group of people making some really funny content, it was the kind of thing where I'm like, we didn't grow. People did not flock to us because we had how do you make your burrito today? It was great for the conversation, but like aside from enamoring us with the people we love, it didn't add more people to the pot. So we're like, well, we did it. It's done. We will find new and better ways to engage. The podcast is really a big part of that now.
Oh yeah.
And since like the Spotify for Podcaster thing has tuned up, I know like once we get to 100 listeners, then we can utilize their tools. And I haven't checked since we posted. I figured I'd like let it kind of permeate. And then when we go to the con, we're going to get people to sign up like kind of in front of us. We have like some stickers to like be like, hey, follow my podcast.
And you guys are going to love their stickers. I have so many of their stickers, it's not even funny.
I actually have like a set I'm trying desperately to get rid of. And I made these because it was such an adorable abomination. So anybody who wants them, just ask, because I
realized I just leaned in, like I'm looking over his shoulder to look at them. I just realized this. I do this stuff all the time. Oh my God, I need these.
So it's Twilight Sparkle Chew.
Dude, I need these.
There we go. There, now it looks.
Dude, I need these. Not I want them.
Yes. Well,
I need these.
Well, I promise, as you're going to
get. If you get a Rainbow Dash, do you have a Rainbow Dash one?
Not as a sticker, but I do like. So, what a great way to transition, right?
Yep.
It might very well be.
Because whatever you mashed up with Rainbow Dash just made it 20% cooler.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Look at that. I actually grabbed it. So this is pre Poke Mashup. I had a young fan who commissioned me every time she saw me, and she loved My Little Pony. She loved Heroes. She gave me 5 or 6 DC heroes she loved to mash up with ponies. There's Rainbow Dash Katana.
Dude, that is awesome.
I also have left in the set Pinkie Pie Flash.
Nice.
Which I've heard is a thing. Wonder Woman Applejack.
That fits so well.
Again, this girl picked it, not me, so she wins. Fluttershy Starfire.
Not perfect again.
Oh, look, I got the whole set too. And Twilight Sparkle also is Raven.
That makes sense.
And for some reason, also in this pile, Jigglypuff Star-Lord.
Oh my god, that is the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, that's how I got to the Pokemon mashup stuff. I did these postcards, and yeah, that was one of those long-standing jokes of Unshaven Comics, right? So if you've been to our table, Kyle is always standing and selling with our patented sign technology. Stop stealing it, Trevor Mueller.
Yeah, Trevor.
Says, "Can I tell you about my comic book?" And Kyle stands with that, and he pitches, and he pitches, and he pitches. Matt draws commissions, usually live, has a bunch of his artwork pre-made on the table, and then does commissions for folks. He also ridiculously undercharges, so he makes the weirdest mashups like that you can possibly imagine, and it's all based on the customer. They're the ones that say, "Oh, I want Red Lantern Cenobites," or Matt did an amazing Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel Sanders Cenobite. I can't even describe it. All I can say is Matt takes the term finger licking good to the wrong places. Anywho, Matt always pokes and prods me, and he's like, "Why don't you put some cards on the table? Why don't you draw? You can draw." I was like, "I know I can, but I'm marketing. I'm here to soak up everything and observe and take down tallies." And I'm like, if I designed if I wanted to put something on the table, I would just design it, and I'd make a product out of it. And he's like, "So do it." It's like, okay, fine. And it started out as these ridiculous domos, if you know Domo Kun. And I used to mash up Domo with everything. I was like, that is as far as I'll go. That little girl found me, and she's like, "Can you do a pony for me, please?" And then I had to start doing ponies, and I was drawing them by hand. I did that set, and I was like, oh, if I can use my graphic design talent and where I'm more comfortable drawing at home, I can do a thing. I can do that. So, 3 years ago, we're at a show. This is right after all the Avengers movies had hit, right? Or the first Avengers movie had hit. It was right after that. And I got the notion, I'm like, you know what? Just for dinner money, I'm going to do a set of Poke mashups. I'm just going to do the starter Pokemon, right? I'm going to do Squirtle as Captain America. I'm going to do Charmander as Iron Man. I'll do Bulbasaur as Spider-Man. And you got to have Pikachu. So I'll do Pikachu, Thor. I'll just do those 4. That's it. And I designed them. I printed them up, put them on the table. They sold out in a day. And that was I had sets, and they just moved, and all of a sudden I had dinner money, and I was like, oh crap, I should do more. So
now you need dessert money.
Right. So that year we went to Dragon Con. I pushed myself real hard, and I made a set of 10. I did as many Avengers as I could think up. I did Snorlax as the Hulk, and Eevee as Black Widow. The whole set, whatever. I did 10 of them and put those on the table, and I sold out those. And I was like, well, I did all the Marvel. I should do the DC. And at that point, I found a rack, a spinner rack that holds cards. The rack had 24 slots. I was like, well, there it is. I will just do a rotating set of 24. We'll call it a day. At the next Dragon Con that next year, I had 24. And one of the coolest things at a con for me personally ever happened. So I have this spinner rack, and it's 4-sided. Somebody had just put it so it was parallel. So a gal walks past the table, and something caught her eye, whichever one, and she's staring at 6 Pokemon. Boom, 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 boom. And she goes, oh, wow. And she looks up, and she goes, how much are these? And they go, well, 1 card for $3, or you can mix and match any 5 of them for $10. Now there's 6 cards in front of her. So she's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now she's trying to decide between the other 2. Matt notices that she doesn't know it rotates. So he just moves his hand up, and he just pulls it an inch. This is R-rated, right?
Oh yeah, you can say whatever you want.
So it turns a little bit. She now knows there's more designs. She takes it for a spin. She gets to side 2. She looks at me and she's like, "Fuck you." And then she proceeds to go, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." Spins it. "God damn you. Go to hell. I want you to die." Turns it again. "How much fucking money is this going to be?" And she bought like 20 cards. And she's like, "You are the worst.
Worst.
I hate you. Go to hell. I love you." I'm like, "This has been a ride. Thank you." So she came back the next year. I had 2 racks, and she just looked at me from afar. She's like, "No, I'm just not. I'm not." And then she walked away, and then she kind of stopped, did a little moonwalk. She's like, "You didn't do Psyduck, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I did. Psyduck as Aquaman, but like smoldering good looks Jason Momoa." And she just looked at me. She's like, I'm gonna jump across the table and stab you with your own pen." So it's that thing, like, it's Pokemon mashups. Has become a beast unto itself that is now supporting its own sub table.
Nice.
So now we're buying 2 tables at once, and like the company can pay for it. None of us have to dive into our own money, and really excited about that. I'm trying to get myself to 72. I have 3 racks. So that's.
Did you know there's an original 151?
Oh, I know. And the problem with that, because I originally said as an Olden, I only want to do the original 151. But so many people have made suggestions of other Pokemon where the mashup makes too much sense. So, like, okay, fine, I'll do that one.
Look, there's only 1,010 Pokemon right now.
Sure. 72 is about where I'm going to head. Because the other thing is, like, these racks take up a certain amount of space. I don't think I could fit more than 4 based on like an 8-foot or 6-foot table. I have machinations in my head on how I could double up the designs or something, but I'm like, look, I can only do these things a little bit at a time. And I think I'm somewhere around 63 designs right now. So, yeah, I've got some time. Now that I won't start the next comic book till November. Once I actually have my like free time back, I've got a list of the ones I've got to finish. I did a whole set of anime ones recently that have been going real well. So, yeah, next up, I've got like a short list. Let's see here. Who knows? Will it actually come up?
You should do something with Eevee and all of Eevee's evolutions.
Oh, I've got a lot of Eevees. Yes. I have. Oh, let's see here. I've got my little cheat sheet. Okay, so of the ones I have yet to do that I've taken notes down, I'm going to be doing. And again, if your listeners, if anybody here wants to like tell me don't do this, or you think, oh yes, hell yeah, do it.
No, I don't care what they say. Keep doing.
Good. Let's see. I'm going to do Ninetales as Naruto.
Oh my god.
I'm going to do Machamp as He-Man, Machoke as Skeletor. Pinsir as Blue Beetle. That one fits too well. Meryl and Yamper for Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. Aaron, Aron, as Samus with a Grimer as a Metroid. Ivysaur for Miles Morales, since Bulbasaur was Spider-Man. Far-Fetched as Darth Maul.
Nice.
And Dratini as Princess Leia, because I think the buns would look good. But yeah, I've done. Oh man, one of my most popular I did, and I will never take credit for this. Umbreon Loki.
Nice.
And then I did Sylveon or Espeon as Sylvie, the pink one. So I've done that one. Have
you made one into a Doctor Doom yet?
I have not done a Doctor Doom. Though
you gotta find the right one for Doctor Doom.
Yeah, there's a couple where Yeah, Doom is big. But I kind of want to wait till he's out in a movie or something. So like the real casuals that walk past those things, like Doom would work, but like let him be big first.
Do you realize there's so much? Because like you can, you said Star Wars, you said Marvel, you said
Yep.
DC. Okay, now Pokemon, Harry Potter, and Pokemon.
Did that one. Did that.
Oh, okay. Who's Professor Snape?
Okay, I've only done one card, but the card
Okay.
has Harry, Ron, and Hermione on it. And they are the 3 starters from the second version. It's one of the rats, one of the owls, and one of the cats. Because
Owlet.
Yes.
What is it? Owlet. Crap! I even have the toy.
Yes.
Hold on.
Rattata, Rattata, I think for Ron, Owlet for Harry, and then the cat's name began with an L for Hermione. Lytton.
Yes.
Yes. So I put those 3 together on a Harry Potter card. That one sells pretty well. So yeah, I would have to do Snape. And to be honest, I would just pick a snake.
I mean, come on. It's Professor Snape. Every girl goes nuts for Professor Snape.
See, most of the girls I catch are still on the Loki vibe. That's where most of my
Yes, but the Loki vibe is the new Professor Snape vibe.
Oh, okay. Now I've also done video game characters. I did Super Audicio. One of the ones that always sells out, Sonic Sandshrew.
That works really well.
And I did Nutquills and then Fenatails. So I did the 3 of those. I've done some movie ones. So I did The Bee as a Ghostbuster.
Nice.
I did a whole set of anime ones that included Shoto Torion, Sai Charizard, so Charizard mixed with One Punch Man. I can't even pronounce it. I did Goku mixed with Infernape.
Have you done Vegeta yet?
Not Vegeta. I've been trying to kind of like bounce myself around. I did Cubone Asuma as a custom, and then I did a Dragon Saw Man. So Dragonite with Chainsaw Man.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that one turned out pretty good.
By the way, have you seen Chainsaw Man yet?
I've not watched it, but it's in the queue.
Baby.
Yeah, so I did a lot of Marvel, a lot of DC, and then those. I will do some sometimes that are literally just for me because I don't care. Like I did Growlstorm, so Growlithe and Firestorm.
Right.
That's a big one. I did one for my wife because she loved WandaVision, so I did Gengar Witch and Polyvision on one card. So like Porygon, the second version, the smooth one as Vision. Another big one's Abra Strange. So that one came about too. And Black Panther Mewtwo. That one he goes almost immediately. And I will say all of these will be online. I'm gonna say in like about a week. We're just tailoring and tinkering right now, Larry and I, and Pokemashups.com is going to be where it's going to be at. You'll be able to buy cards. You'll be able to buy poster-sized versions of every single card I talked about. And most important to me, monetarily, is the ability for you to request a complete custom. So you will be able to mash up any Pokemon with anything you like in pop culture. And
you could do this version of Growlithe.
Oh, easily. And I mean, obviously I would do my own spin and, you would tell me like where and what you'd want it to be. And yes. So like the Cubone Asuma is one that I did because the kid loved both of those. I've also done, I actually did a mashup for somebody that wasn't a mashup at all. For their child's birthday, my friends Heather and Sam made me make Goatmander, which is Sam, the dad. He and his boy have built up this whole universe around this custom Pokemon he made called Goatmander. And Goatmander has any power that he wants by like Kirby from the video games. He
Mhm.
basically like Kirby's up who he wants, and then he poops them out, and then he gains their power for an hour. So
Ooh.
I had to draw Goatmander, and it's funny. So if you ever see my Pokemon backdrop, and I think even the poster, the picture you put of me, you might have had that in there. If you stare at it long enough, Goatmander's hidden on there. And I love a couple times people like go through it and they're like, wait, what is that one? And I was like, it's Goatmander. And they're like, well, who is that mashed up with? I'm like, if you don't know, you just don't know. Like,
Nope.
get hip with it, kids.
Ooh. You know what? Alolan Vulpix, this one,
Yeah.
as either Storm or Emma Frost.
Yeah, I mean, either or. That'd be tight. And I get it because of that.
See, this is why you're dangerous to me, because you start talking about these things and my mind's just, it's grinding. You're bad for me.
It's all right. I do it for the fun of it all, and like now that it's self-sustaining, it's really exciting. It allows me to expand out a little bit for fun. Like there's going to be a local con in the north side of Chicago at the end of September called Waukegan, like Waukegan, the neighborhood, and I'm just going to do that one alone. So it'll be interesting to, like, again, dinner money, see kind of like where we're at, like what all it will bring in. But really for us, what it does is it stops people. And when they're there, they can't not hear Kyle pitching the book. And it stands that they'll see my cards, they'll hear his pitch, and between the two of us, we're walking away with some of their money. And everyone's always excited about it. Like, we don't leave people angry. So it's great when we get to stop people and get all those great stories. And then when they hear Kyle pitching Samurnauts, and then they see the Pokemon, it's the only question I hate fielding. They're like, are you going to do a book with Poke mashups? And I was like, no, I'm skirting on the edge of getting sued as it is. So let's just hit it while the sun shines. I am protected under parody.
Yep.
I am.
I know you are.
But
or else I wouldn't actually let you talk about this, because I do protect people. But be someone that, as a content creator myself, even though I don't do comics, I also have to understand, I have to worry about fair use when I use things where like we're doing reactions and things like that.
Exactly.
So I know exactly where you lie.
It's always my favorite.
Umbreon and a Xenomorph.
Yes. Well, I've got Xenomorph on there somewhere. I should do for sure.
I'm just saying that's mine. That's my commission.
Well, when Pokemon Mashups goes out, you'll obviously see the post because I will be shouting it from the rafters.
You do. You better personally message me.
Oh,
you know me.
I will flag and tag everybody, you included, when that thing goes live, because, well, trust me, it's going to probably take me an entire week just to populate it. Because right now we're just trying to build the back end, and my whole point for the site was one page only. I was like, I don't want this to be complicated. I just literally want a field and then filters. So because people, this is my own standing like conundrum, right? I think of it from the thing they're mashed up with. Like, I'm a fan of comics, so I care about what did you do Green Lantern with, or what did you do Batman with, or what did you do with, Scarlet Spider. I would think of it that way, but I'll tell you, from all the cons I've been, people care about the Pokemon first. It's almost like they're just pleased that they see it and that it's in some kind of new garb, but it's people love the Pokemon they love. And then whatever you filter on top of that. Now, I've also been told on many occasions, I get the fans that do this thing where they look at it and they look at me and they go, "Yeah, that's correct." I'm like, well, I mean, they could be mashed up with anything. They're like, no, Aquaman Psyduck, Psyduck can be nothing else, ever. I'm like, even a Howard the Duck? They're like, absolutely not. That's Golduck, you fool. Like, okay, when you hit it, the Sandshrew Sonic.
I know nothing of Pokemon.
Doesn't look like it at all. And I saw a little Rainbow Dash there too.
Oh yeah. And then we have more Pokemons, and then we have even more Pokemons.
Oh yes. Well,
Oh yeah, and Rainbow Dash, yeah, huge.
you got it. You got to be ready with the fun stuff. I don't have within arm's reach too much fun stuff. I mean, I've got a Nerf gun here. I've got 2 up there, and then I have like a plushie that I just bought because it was adorable. It's a catfish or a shark cat.
I got a kitten Cthulhu.
There you go. Yeah,
Look, I got my duckies. I've got my pop figures, Carmen Sandiego. I've got my anime figures.
Oh,
Wow.
Pops. That's my wife. We have how many? Pushing 400. We're about 400.
Holy shit!
Yeah, if my camera could literally lift itself, I would show y'all, but I can't. But suffice to say, I have 2. This is my favorite part. We are adults, okay, pushing over 40 years old, and my wife and I bought like fancy adult shelving that you're supposed to put like family pictures and heirlooms on. My wife's got like 12 deep rows of Pops just all over.
I have a $2,000 curio cabinet that you're supposed to put your fine china in with nothing but Star Wars in it. So I get you. I understand this.
I will say though, and I think I could actually wriggle this one out. We have the one of the coolest Pops you can possibly get. In fact, no one else can get it.
Okay.
Would you like to see it?
Yes.
Can I get the very? They're already on it.
She's already on it.
She's like, here it comes. So, yeah, when it comes down to it, like my wife collects Pops, right? So when we got to the 10-year wedding anniversary, the question came up, how do you like my whole point of gifting is I wanted to gift my wife to the point that I will never lose. So for our 10-year anniversary, first of all, I got her a cameo from Joey Fatone, who is her absolute fave.
Nice.
But then I had to go one up. I got her the only Pop that she could never get herself.
That is amazing.
So it is, the whole thing, the whole box is completely tricked out. We got the family at the time.
Aww.
As the chase. Even put there you go, from Fish Co. There you go, everyone. You can go. That's not my house anymore. Good luck. But yeah, and then it's really hard to tell, but she's even carrying a very small photo of me.
Yes, she is. Oh my gosh. That's like everybody's dream. Like, once upon a time you knew you made it if you got to be a voice of a Disney character. Now you know you've made it if you're a pop figure.
There you go.
So your wife is more popular than you.
Entirely, and correctly so. But there you go. So
that is amazing. Congratulations.
You are being congratulated. Hi, baby.
Hi,
baby. Yeah, so I'll doing little snaps. Yeah, so I say I do have one thing like right to the like behind me is my one shelf of geekery that's got Pops that I've been given. And one of my favorite pieces, I've got a because I'm huge into Nerf. That's what I collect. Oh, thank you, babe.
That's the reason why your child just gave you the Nerf gun.
I don't know. I have a transformer that turns into a sniper rifle.
Nice.
That fires Nerf darts.
That is fabby.
I own a all below me in the children live in a toy store.
I mean,
what, baby? Oh. Can you give those to mom? You want that? Okay, there you go.
Hold on. I'll show.
No worries.
I just need a light because I don't really turn the lights on that much.
Who needs
and
light?
I'm not wearing pants, so I had to turn the camera off so I could get up.
This isn't even a shirt. Oh, yes.
Now, keep in mind, this is just The Office.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, that's what if I were left to my own devices, I'm sure that's what I'd be doing.
Now, there is a video on YouTube, which is before I moved to this office room in the old office, but it's kind of the same. It's on YouTube and it is on Twitch of me giving a tour of the house. And you will find out that this. Did someone say Transformers? Hey, Darth Megatron! Holy moly. Honey, this is just the office. Every room in this house is decorated like this. From the bathroom to the hallway to the kitchen.
I think that's a rap song, isn't it? No. Yeah, no, we're hey, that's I've kept it as contained as we can, but like it's always funny like whenever we have like handymen or repairmen come into the house and like the first thing that hits you is 400 pops. Then they go to the basement, there's 139 Nerf guns. All they can do is just sort of live in awe, and they're like, man, like your kids are lucky. And I was like, kids nothing, this is for
Kids
me.
nothing. Yeah, I remember. So I mean, you remember back in the old days where like, oh my god, there's a girl in the comic book shop, yada 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 yada, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Somebody redeemed a puppy treat, so she's
I
off.
see. Fuel the hatred.
Yes.
As
Yes, you just saw her get her puppy treat. Fuel's actually a good friend of mine, so is Darth Megatron. Darth Megatron is an artist.
Nice.
He's on YouTube, really good. Fuel is a Twitch streamer like myself. We used to do this stream called Descent into what was it called again? Trying to remember. The Descent into Horror podcast or something like
Nice.
that. But yeah, they're both good people. Of course, if you find one of your Pokemon Transformers mashups, there's Dark Descent into Horror. Thank you, Fuel.
I mean, like I see it here. I can present.
Look, Marc has messed me up by showing me Pokemon mashups.
Well, let's see if I have the ability to present. That means I could click here.
Yes.
And then I can go click here.
Yes.
And then go. Let's see here. This is terrible. I have all these Pokemon mashups, and they're like 4 folders deep. Hold on. Pokemon Heroes. There we go. Let's see what's going on. Meow meow meow. Yes, you can. Here we go. And all right, I'm going to be joined by a guest. Here you go, baby. All right.
I like how your wife zooms out of the camera as quickly as she can.
Well, she's handling some. Oh no!
He just walked in the door.
Oh, okay. And we're back.
Bye.
No, we're good. Okay, cool. So here's all of these. Yes. Okay. So I hear you. I hear what's being said, and what I heard was Pokemon Transformers.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna move this over here. Oh, you know what? Let's try the present button.
Yes.
Share screen.
Yes.
Yes. Share screen. Oh, now I get to choose entire screen. We'll go over here and we'll make that big, and we'll make this really big. There we go. And now we'll hit share.
Get ready for it, Darth.
There you go. That's a slow. I believe this is slow bro, but it's a very particular kind, the one that actually has the shell on the hand, and I made him.
I like you said Pikatron.
Well, if we keep scrolling, my friend, there is another one that I can. Well, here you go, and you can't not have no preview. How dare you? How about that? Blasphemous Prime.
Oh my god, that is fantastic.
As we've mentioned it prior, there's Psyduck, Aquaman. Look how smoldering he is. Oh, yeah, there's the...
Look at my ears, though.
Let's see here. I got a whole... But like, this is just such a random one, but there you go. There's One Punch.
Oh my god, that's so great.
This is a triple mashup, right? So that's Shototorion. So Glaceon and Flareon matched with the kid from...
Mm-hmm.
Yes. the one.
Sorry, I was thinking at the same time, and I was like, he's just gonna say it.
There you go, Greninja. There you go.
No.
Let's see here. Here's your Dragonite.
Nice.
That one seemed to I liked how that one turned out. There's Goku. Here's Cubone Asuma. That one was also pretty dang fun. Here's some other. These two were also complete customs, not my creation, but I did it for the fans. So this is Macho Man Incineroar.
Oh my god, that is great.
And here is Charizard Godzilla.
Fantastic.
Yes. Now, there is one I'm trying to find for you guys because I believe somebody name dropped Voltron.
Uh-huh.
Here you go. Poketron.
Oh my god, that is fantastic.
Yeah. So I did that one. That was a custom birthday present for one of my kids' friends. Here you go. This is another
great.
super popular one, Lickitung Venom.
Oh my god, no. Mm-mm. That's a pass.
All right, we'll move on then.
Because you actually missed it because about a month ago we did Pokemon Smash or Pass.
Oh, cute. So this one I did just for the pun. Edward Scyther Hands.
That's great.
Too good not to. Fans of the Loki show, of course, should enjoy Loki Dial.
Oh dear Lord, that's.
This is another fun one. Togepi Modok.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Fuel. Here's one that always sells out quickly. This is
You got to his comment before I did, and that is fantastic. Holy crap! I need one of those.
yes, that's the one that
I need somebody to 3D print me this as a figure.
Oh, that would be pretty badass. Let's see. So that was Print Me 2001. Here's 2021. Here's 2022. Let's see anyone's here. Oh, fans of Deadpool.
Aww.
Here you go. Here was that aforementioned Ghostbuster.
Beedrill as a Ghostbuster.
This one has not sold very well, but I don't care. Drowsy is the Sandman. I know that, whatever. He's moody. This one.
You know what though? Sometimes you do them for yourself. Oh my god.
Coffin Punisher. And again, here's one I did for myself. Don't care if anyone else cares. Peace Dude. Just because, man. You got to.
Just cuz.
Yep, here you go. Here's also Wolverine.
Oh, with the Rowlet. Oh my god, he's so cute.
And Moon Knight.
With Teddy Ursa. Oh my god.
I mean, again, if they're that good. Let's see. That was 2022. Here are the ones that came out this year. I think we pretty much seen. Yeah, you guys have seen all of
Wait,
these.
if you're doing He-Man and Skeletor, are you going to do a She-Ra?
I'd like to, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so you guys have seen all of those. So yeah, otherwise that's pretty much. Yeah, this was like the original set. When I thought I was actually like done. Hilariously, I think
the reason why the Rowlet works so well as Wolverine is it looks like somebody just decided to dress up their dog as Wolverine, and that's what it looks like.
I mean, for a lot of people, right? That's like kind of what they are. It's Pokemon that just decided they were gonna dress up. This one's there. You go.
Oh, nice.
And of course, you gotta have Pikachu Thorns.
Well, wait, if you didn't mine them as Flash, are you going to do plus them as Reverse Flash?
Yeah, I will. I'll get there eventually. But, yeah, it's just, that one's like low-hanging fruit, and I'll be dead honest, no one buys it. So I was like, well, I'll get to it when I need to.
Well, maybe it'll do a little bit better now with the Flash movie coming out.
We'll see. At the very least, once it's on the website, then people can kind of mix and match. It'll be fun. Not a lot of love for Starmie Lantern, but I don't care. I love it.
It
And
works though.
there was a Starfish Green Lantern, so it worked.
That's why I think it works.
This one gets weird love. There's Thanos' job. Always fun. Umbreon Loki definitely moves and moves and moves.
Okay, Umbreon is like a hot bad guy, misunderstood, instant Pokemon.
Exactly.
So it's like Loki and Doctor Doom and Professor. Like Umbreon gets to be every one of those.
Exactly. Zubatman, because of course. Vulpix is Wonder Woman.
Aww.
Black Panther.
Nice.
Eevee is Black Widow. Turned out good. And then
Eevee's gonna kick my ass.
This one's also fun. Did Zelda. So, well, I should say Link. And then I also did with him Zelda. Who is...
Patrick Star's the best Green Lantern.
Yes, he is. Here's one that does not get enough love. Sorry. Cubone Hawkeye.
Dude, Hawkeye doesn't get enough love. Somebody give some love to poor Hawkeye.
Exactly. And then here's your Abra, Doctor Strange.
That works really well.
Yeah, that's, again, there are those out there where they're like, yes, that's correct.
That's a no-brainer.
Here's Ralt's Zelda. And the other one that everyone oddly goes, yes, you've done it correctly, is Sandshrew Sonic.
That's pretty much when you were saying it, that's pretty much how I pictured it.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I think I've pretty much hit almost all of them. But yeah, there you go. Those are the Pokemon mashups coming to a website near you, and always at the Unshaven Comics table, where you can also check out the Samronauts and the slowly building, as I'm dubbing it, the silent G universe, the Kyle's Nepperverse. Though he said obviously the books that he writes independently none of them are related to anything else. Though Matt and I we're like, yeah, but eventually you're gonna knuckle under and you're gonna find a way.
Oh yeah.
You gotta tie him in, man. You gotta tie him in.
So of course, the best place for everybody to find everything is either at your website, Unshaven Comics, and you guys are still on Facebook and Instagram, correct?
Right, and we're at Unshaven Comics on both of them. So definitely like us, follow us. I will say, anybody who wants to buy anything, if you leave anywhere in the comment or even just message, by the way, all roads lead to me on all of those Instagram and Facebook. So if you message me and say, hey, I saw you on AGP, I got this thing, I will go ahead and throw you in some of those Twilight Sparkle Chews stickers.
Nice.
And we'll just load you up with all sorts of crazy crap.
And it doesn't have to be here live on Twitch, because remember, you guys on YouTube, you're going to be getting to see this video soon, in just a couple of days after it's been live on Twitch for a few days. So that goes for you too.
Yeah, that means I can also share it out to all of the folks that always want to see me talk, but then don't. Well, it's funny because I've done stand-up comedy and I've done other performative things. And yeah, it's only funny. Like when you're a stand-up, all your friends tell you, man, I'm going to come see you. I'm playing next week. Busy.
Oh, I'm busy.
What day was it? I thought it was Tuesday. It's bowling night. I actually meant Wednesday. Also bowling night. But it's all worth it. Folks,
I like listening to you talk.
That's good. Well, there's like floating around somewhere on the internet right before the pandemic, a good friend of mine was running a spoken word night, and he had tricked me into showing up because I was invited to unretire from stand-up comedy to do a one-night charity event locally here in Flossmoor, and to just do like get up in front of a crowd of drunken people that I kind of probably already know, and then like do a little stand-up for them. And I was tricked by my friend. He's like, well, you got to come to my spoken word night and you can try out your jokes. You know, it'll be a very soft room. Everyone will be super nice. It'll be fun. And I did it, and people were so nice. I was like, well, damn, I guess I'll come back next time and I'll do it again. So every month I would come with a new piece, and it wasn't quite stand-up. It wasn't quite spoken word. It was just long format, weird comedy that I had to read off of an iPad because I use a lot of big words and couldn't possibly memorize any of them. And like,
Were you wearing one of those flat-looking hats?
no,
You
zero.
were wearing a hat?
I would wear like just exactly what you're looking at, just show up and read off my little story. And eventually became a thing where I had to go on last because no one wanted to go on after me, which was just too nice of the people in the room. Like, we're all here just having a good time, that you really don't have to do that. But I did so many of these things that it hit me. And this was like 2019, I think. So I had 12 of these pieces. I had a lot. And I was like, you know what? How about I do all of them? Like an hour. I'll do an hour of comedy, and all the tickets and proceeds went to a charity I started in my hometown to boost the visual arts, because it's the one thing that no one ever boosts, right? Like, there's always like sports booster and theater boosters and the band boosters. No one ever gives money to the visual art kids. They just think that you buy them a couple of tubes of paint and they're happy. And like, there's so much more to it than that.
Sorry, he redeemed a breathe. So I have two. One chat shows me when people are redeeming stuff, and one shows me the actual talking.
Oh, fun. Hey, redeem.
So I had to breathe.
That works. So like, yeah, I ended up doing the spoken word thing, and it was super fun. And I did have a friend come out and record it just in case. So I'm sure it's floating around the internet somewhere. And if it's not and you want it, just let me know. I will pimp my own stuff no matter what. So if you want to listen to me doing that, oh, and hey, I'm actually performing one of those pieces live in downtown Chicago in September.
Nice.
I'm going to be part of a show called Mortified, where people read stories about terrible middle school age-ish embarrassment, times in which you were mortified. So I'm retelling the tale of Marc Fishman, the actor, the rise and immediate fall. All based on found journals from my very first compact Presario 486-66 all-in-one model that we unearthed before I killed it. And I found like these old journals of me in middle school, writing like a little diary to myself. And there's captured this well, when I started, I got into the musical in 7th grade and thought that was going to be my trip into acting and whatnot. And then I just kept being cast as villager number 2 in everything. And I got the hint. So funny enough, by the way, the guy who was running the spoken word night, it was my middle school drama teacher. And he and I became friends in the adult world. And it's funny because I'll never let him live that down, because he definitely remembers casting me like that and would never say a cross word. He's always like, you were perfect in that role. That's exactly what you needed to do at that time. He's like, but if you remember, I told you should have gone to speech team. You should have been doing original comedy. And I told him, I was like, speech team seemed like the hipsterest douchebags of high school, and I don't want to be on a bus with these kids doing their extemporaneous speaking, because I'd never seen people more self-aggrandizing about getting up there and bullshitting. And all of them, all high school speech team, I'm sorry, come at me, they all have that same cadence that is like a nails on chalkboard to me.
No, I get it. I get it.
If I'm going to talk like this, I'm going to talk like this. I wish I was on NPR, but I'm only 16 and I've never been laid. This is the story of that. Cannot stand it. Cannot stand it. I was like, I can't get up there. I will not do that.
No.
I said, I'll keep my jokes to myself and my friends, and then eventually, somewhere between 2007 and 2009, I had a stand-up career that went as far as it took me till I realized I am too Jewish to pay for parking in the city, so screw this. 100% true story. I did like 2 open mics, and then my friend was like, "Okay, well, we're gonna do this every Tuesday," and I'm like, "The fuck, I'm paying $20." Like, so I can make a bunch of drunks laugh. That's not even hard. That's not a really, like, how do you go from here to like Comedy Central? That's not, nah, I'm good. So I quit, and I still don't regret it at all.
Oh, well, I'm kind of glad because I get Samurai and I get Toki mashups and
All of that probably would have happened. It would have been doubly so if I was a stand-up comic trying to make money. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I got mouths to feed. You saw them. They're all like running around
everywhere.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This is what happens when 2 only children get married. And this is just a warning to all of the people listening and the people watching later. You're going to hear about this thing called date night. Don't do it. Stay home. Cannot stress that enough. I went on 2 dates, ended up with 2 more kids, and I only like one of them. I think I should just come back weekly just to make you laugh. This is
that would actually work for me. I'm okay with that.
You should just have like the 5-minute mark. Let's pop in, give a tight 5, pop back out.
Oh, those are called TikToks.
No TikToks 5 minutes. Those are like 30 seconds, and according to my
there's a few that are.
I've seen a couple that go like a little long. Like I like that guy Tizient that calls out people, and his go a little long, but he deserves it.
And the Pokemon card openings can go a little long, but people love them.
Funny enough, like that doesn't come up on my whatever. Is it FYP? Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
My FYP thinks I am into things I'm not into, and I don't like. I keep typing in the things I want to see, and it's like, no, that's not what you want.
You mean like how Darth here is trying to come up with his own version
of TikTok?
Look see how he spelt it? Yeah.
Is that on the Play Store? Hold on.
Is that honey, if somebody's got one that does that, I'm sure. If they don't, they do now.
It's I try not to show the age too hard, minus the strip of gray in my beard, but like, yeah, I remember when Vine came out, and my friend Carl, who's 10 years older than me, and he found out. He's like, well, my teen daughter loves this thing called Vine. I'm like, what's that? He goes, I don't know, but as soon as I turned it on, it was all tits. And I was like, well, for that to happen, don't you have to? Well, never mind, Carl, because like I know.
Yes, you do.
So I looked into Vine. I laughed for like there are people that did Vines that like had a whole thing, and it was great. The one guy that was like, it's story time, and he would like walk up behind people and he would narrate what was going on just to get a reaction. I loved that guy. And then like all the dank meme, like the guy who's like, you made me drop my croissant. Like I could still watch that crap. And then there was like Vine, and then after Vine there was Tout, and then that went away. So. Yeah, but I was like, when
early days of YouTube.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, if we're showing our colors, I was a member of Facebook when you had to be in college. There was no other people. It was just the boring non-MySpace.
I remember joining Facebook and MySpace just to play Farmville.
Oh yeah. Well, like, remember, this is all part of my non-comedy that should start coming back. For those of us of a certain age that remember MySpace, remember the passive aggression that you could pull off by moving people in your top 8?
Uh-huh.
Like, did you ever move somebody without announcing?
Oh my God.
Just so that person can be like, Amanda, do we need to talk? I see.
What did I do? What did I do to you? Why am I not? Oh my God.
Look. I understand your significant other goes in slot 2, and I can understand why your brother is slot 3, but I was in slot 4, and now you moved me down to 7. What the fuck?
Like, they would lose their shit.
Fuel, dude.
He's bad.
NSFW. He's got this whole Twitch stream in the private incognito window. That's how it's working. By the way, I love that on your phone too. Like all apps that have videos have like that incognito mode, and I love that they put that there. Like we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's 11 o'clock at night. I know what's happening. Just can't these apps be that smart?
No.
No. No, the problem is when you do something in incognito mode, but then the autocomplete still fires up on the normal side, and then you have to explain to your kid. Sorry, I digress. What was your question?
Oh my God. Hold on. MySpace. What was the other game that I used to play? It was like somethingville, Yoville or something like that. Do you remember that?
I mean, I always knew the Farmville people. I couldn't like.
What was it called?
Only
Yoville?
remnant that's ever stayed with me is the Candy Crush stuff. But I also have like that. I will die on the mountain of microtransactions and how much I hate them.
Yeah, but see, remember, I never did the microtransactions, but there was this. I remember I started dating people on MySpace through I think it was called Yoville, which was part of Farmville, except for you got an apartment and everything. And the only reason why I played it is because I have a picture that's in my living room that you could buy in Yoville and put in your living room, and it's the exact same damn picture.
Stranger Things, right? I still hold on to that, and I mean, I guess nowadays maybe sign of the times. I just do the Wordle and like half of those free games on the New York Times website, and then they ask me for money, and I laugh and close the window. Like, I don't need to do your crossword. I just need to be reminded I'm mildly smart enough to know how to spell a 6-letter word or 5 letters, whatever.
Yeah, it's I actually found it here. Of course, I have no idea why some people are trying to say it. This one here, which this one says it's $40.99. This is like $169.99. It was this picture here.
Why not? I know, even prior to the MySpace, I remember my wife, then girlfriend, had told me we all need to get on this open diary.
Oh my God!
And we all started there, like that little personal blog thing, and then all of a sudden they're like, nope, we're going to MySpace. And then he did the MySpace thing, and as a graphic designer at the time, I'm like, if I come to your page and you have changed the cursor to a fucking fairy and the players blasting music and everything is shiny gifs, I don't care if I like you in real life. Nope, we're not friends. Moving on. Though I would also give the same amount of shit to the people that would just keep it the default, and they would still have whoever came as your first friend, whatever the guy who owned it, Tom.
If Tom was friends with Tom,
yeah, if he was in your top 8, and I didn't believe that it was an ironic thing, I'd be like, we can't. No, look, I'm a nerd, but you got problems. And then of course, you'd move, you'd feel good, you move Tom to slot 8. And you're like, come on, one more friend. I can move him out. And there you go.
I mean, you're talking to someone who started in chat rooms.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I was AOL 1993. I was in the chats. I was one of the pioneers of choosing angsty lyrics to attach to my profile because I imagined girls would open my profile in America Online, see that angsty thing and be like, we should date because you chose a quote from a Sting song.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Things I miss. LimeWire.
Oh, God, yeah. LimeWire, BearShare.
Oh, God, yes.
The Napster, before it blew up and all that. I mean, I got some damn good like rips and stuff from the LimeWire era of stuff that you really couldn't get elsewhere. Like my wife loves NSYNC, and I had to find some reason to tolerate them. I've got an a cappella Bee Gees cover of Jive Talkin' by NSYNC that rips. And you can't get that on any imports or anything else like that. Harsh mistress. Yeah, no, I mean, we've all lived through it. My first online game, and the reason why I don't play them, Warcraft 2 with Unshaven Comics Kyle.
Nice.
He beat my ass so royally that I almost tossed my computer out the window. I was so mad. And to this day, he greets me with a hug and says, "Remember when I kicked your ass in Warcraft?" He doesn't really, but I know he's thinking it, and I hate him for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. And
now you got somebody excited.
But here's the thing. Kyle didn't tell me he knew the cheat codes, and I didn't. So when we started playing, he gave himself like 1,000,000 gold. And all of a sudden, he is like just laying waste to all of my shit. And I'm like, what happened? I don't even understand. He's like, you just suck. And then like years later, I'm like, you have to show me, like, how did you do that? And he's like, I just typed in the code to give you infinite gold or whatever. And I just looked at him like, motherfucker.
You suck.
Well, like that, Kyle grew up with an older brother. I did not. So he learned on the streets, baby. When we used to play deep cut, bonus points for anybody who recognizes this. We used to play Rival Schools on PlayStation. And Kyle taught me very quickly that he's the douchebag that would play as Ryu and go to the corner and just keep fireballing nonstop. And when you'd like get in, you'd be like, dude, what the hell? Like, let's go. And he's like, this is just as valid as anything else you're doing. Like, who hurt you?
Sounds like it's time for a rematch. Find a newer RTS that doesn't have cheats around and kick his ass. I'd watch that for $1.
If I can figure out a game we can do that, we will.
Ooh.
It depends. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't.
It's time for the final showdown.
What would actually be funny is I'm sure it exists somewhere. I would actually pull up Warcraft 2 like now and try playing with him now, because like admittedly I'm terrible. I play when I play video games, which is rare, I am a fiend for the Dynasty Warriors stuff. So I hack and slash till my finger falls off. I'm a huge pro wrestling nerd, so I'm playing AEW Fight Forever. And recently I bought Soul Calibur for like $4, the Soul Calibur 6, I think. And for $4, who cares? That's great. You know what? It may be. Right now, Kyle and I are in this war. He wants me very badly to watch Dropout, the streaming. He loves it, and like everything he wants to quote and talk about when we get in the car. Because when Unshaven Comics goes to cons, see how I just drove the car right back to where we were supposed to be. We all talk about the shows and the things that we've watched, and we commiserate. But Kyle is cheap and only has Dropout, so all he wants to talk about are these shows that Matt and I have never seen and have next to no interest in.
Have you told him that he's going to have to expand his horizon due to the fact that you have a podcast to do now? Well,
the funny thing is, I'm like, you can just take. You want Hulu? You can have my Hulu. You want this? I can.
My Netflix. You can't have that because I put a stop to that.
Well, I dropped Netflix because of all the people in the strike. They're the worst. So I know I did it prematurely, but to be honest, we kind of looked at it. And I was like, it's the one thing aside from Black Mirror, I wasn't really watching anything on it. So I was like, you know what? We can take a break. And I've got everything else. So I was like, you know what? So Kyle loves Dropout. Matt, I'm not really sure we'll find out when we go to Dragon Con, but this whole ride down I get to talk about Justified. I know I'm way late to that party, but I fell into it backwards by way of Marvelous Miss Maisel, which, oh my God, I loved it, which, come on, if you know, you know. And then I was like, okay, I want to roll into something else. And a lot of people were telling me a bunch of other comedies or something similar. And I was like, no, I think I've got to drive the car in the opposite direction. like my brain wants to move someplace as far away from Miss Maisoland as you're going to get, and Justified is kind of that. Like, you know, it's Southern fried police work, and I'm enjoying it. And now I'm in somewhere about season 4 and trying to make my way to whatever else. Well, you know, when I'm caught up with that, I'm like, okay, well, I could feel the rubber band going the other way. So it's like, okay, what might be next on the horizon that's the complete opposite of Justified? We'll see.
Chainsaw Man.
How many seasons are there?
What season? Right now there's only in one season 12 episodes.
Well, that's plenty.
They're talking early 2024 season 2 is supposed to start.
Cool. Well, that's easily consumed. For sure. Oh, and you know what? Yeah, I'll probably do Chainsaw Man, and at the same time, I'm a little behind on the Marvel stuff, so I will go back. Secret Invasion, right? That's coming out, and then my wife's making me go through What We Do in the Shadows. I was going to wait till the whole season was done, but she didn't, so she's like, nope, sit down. We're watching it.
I kind of pulled away from watching a lot of the Marvel stuff. I don't know. It just really hasn't pulled me in recently.
I mean, there's definitely been, you know, the plane's rocky a little bit, but Guardians 3 was a freaking masterpiece.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, again, it really depends on how much you like the first two, but the way in which they close that series out, if you are intimately familiar with 1 and 2, I've never seen a stronger trilogy in this genre. And for those who have hits of the feels, I cried through about 98% of Guardians 3. Like, when shit's not blowing up, you're just crying like an absolute toddler. That is effectively the entire, like, we walked out of that theater and like my face was like, it was awful. And then my wife and I, on our last jaunt out, we went and saw the Flash movie, and the tears actually got sucked back in to my head. For it was, as I figured it would be, not Guardians 3.
No.
Whatever the opposite of it was. Ezra Miller is a troubled man, or troubled person, and I hope that they find what they need. As the Flash, no offense, I'm a curmudgeon. That ain't Barry Allen, and you're never going to convince me otherwise. Of the many things that character has been, he's never been erratic to that point. He's always been kind of milquetoast for a reason. And I thought Grant Gustin does it so well on the TV, like on the televised show. Like, my whole hope was that I would watch The Flash, and then like the last scene would be like a vrip vrip, and then here's Grant Gustin. Like, going forward, he's it. But no, that didn't happen. Spoiler alert. So I'm sure we're past that right now. People, we can say.
I honestly haven't seen the new Flash movie yet because I don't go to theaters. There's this thing in theaters called people, and I don't really like them that much.
Well, the trick is, if you go, like when my wife and I go, there's really not. So,
yeah, but see, I'll be honest. You know me. I work like 24/7. So,
and you know what, the way things get streamed now, like, you don't really have to wait all that long. So by the time you actually care, it's probably out anyway. I will lament, I'm a little pissed that my wife and I are getting a date night this coming weekend. And
there was people in the movie that weren't worth it either.
Yeah, it's we're a weekend behind Blue Beetle coming out, and I actually really want to see Blue Beetle. I love that character.
I do want to see it, but I'm like I said, I'm just weird. You know, obviously the pandemic put a lot of things in perspective. People still just go out sick and they don't care. Someone like me who, you know, I have to take a lot of meds and I have to get a lot of shots just to function before the pandemic. Now even more after, because people still don't care. I just rather be in my little PJs on my couch where I know I'm safe and I won't get hospitalized.
I have to leave because of those 4 urchins that need to be educated and like go out into the world. And there's like day jobs.
Can't you just like throw them out the front door and lock it?
I mean, the one I don't like, sure, but the rest of them, yeah, I mean, especially it surviving through the pandemic. It was funny. I was doing the remote job thing since before it was cool, and through the entire pandemic, I was working the same job. Interestingly enough, when that ended, and I had thought I found like the new thing, it was mostly remote with a couple of jaunts to downtown Chicago, which was great because I hadn't worked downtown in forever. So I enjoyed it while it lasted. It did not last, and boy howdy, that sucked. But they did send me out to the Dominican Republic, where I learned I don't like tropical paradise at all, but it was good to see it. I've never, I don't operate well in the heat naturally. I know the camera adds 200 pounds, but the level of heat in the Dominican Republic was so offensive that I greeted the morning by just swearing at anything that walked past me.
I have never heard someone call weather offensive.
It is. How even in if it's going to be let's say just a bastard of a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but if you leave your house at 7:00 in the morning, you walk outside and it's still semi-bearable, even if you get that feeling by midday it's going to be a scorcher.
Not down there.
In the Dominican Republic, I opened the door from my hotel room to the outside because there's no hallways. It's all open air. So I opened that front door and it was literally just walking right into a furnace.
Mm-hmm.
And my body
you open the door and it goes, what?
Oh yeah. I mean,
and it sticks to you.
Like a roundhouse to the face. And everywhere we went, because at the time I was working for a group travel website, and we did a lot of weddings. So we were going around to all these different venues and walking around the properties, and you had to learn and see what all the stuff was. And
Phil gets it. He lives in Australia.
Oh, hey, mate. So all I can say is every time we go to a new place, and the only times I liked it is we went to one hotel, and as we got off the shuttle, there was a guy there handing everybody a cold towel. Just a cold towel. And I looked at him this is my favorite resort ever. And the guy's like, you haven't seen it yet. I'm like, yeah, I've seen enough. And then some guy handed a pineapple that had a drink in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, this is so nice. And I know they're trying to be nice, and then they'd be like, do you guys want to go see the other part of the property? I'm like, I don't. This is all, how much are the rooms? Great. And everyone else was having the time of their life, and then I would be like, hey, I'm gonna go back to the air conditioning. I will see y'all in the morning. It didn't help that I was the oldest guy by about 10 years. So they're all like, tell me what it's like being old. I was like, every day.
If you want to just sit in your house in the air conditioning because this is too damn hot.
To be fair, I would be doing the same thing 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. God bless.
Yeah.
All that.
You're the complete opposite of me. I remember living in Florida. People are like, why is your air conditioner not on? It's 75 degrees. It's a little cold.
Yeah, no, can't do that. I think the problem, I ruined it for myself. My dad, growing up, owned a liquor store, and I used to sit in the walk-in freezer for fun.
See, I'm Florida. You're Alaska.
Truly, I missed my calling, but I joked about it. But I was like, you know what it probably was is when I was growing up, I watched the '69 Batman and saw Mr. Freeze, and I'm like, that's how you should do it. That guy looks comfortable all the time. With
you have to wear too many clothes when you're cold.
I mean, I haven't been cold since 1984. So I'll let you know if it ever happens.
Okay, and I'm just telling you, 75 degrees and lower is too cold for Amanda. No.
No, I can't even operate. Like, I mean, I can, but yeah. Now that I've been to the Dominican, I was like, well, that's the litmus test. I will not. I will say though, of all like the short list of places I definitely want to get out to at some point, Australia is definitely on the list.
Here's the problem, though. If I make it to Australia, I ain't coming back.
Oh well, could it be because like their normal spiders are 18 feet tall?
No, that I don't like.
No, I wouldn't either. But I mean,
But they have a better way of living than us.
every other country does.
I know.
Hey, this is why Unshaven Comics started to do Canadian shows. We did Fan Expo Toronto 2 years in a row, and this year we are jaunting to Winnipeg.
They'll never fight you.
Yes, they
Thank
will.
you.
It'll be in the Spider.
Trust
me, I've seen the pictures. I'm like, if I can just go to the resorts or some other part. My aunt's a big traveler with my uncle David, and I know she's been to Australia a couple of times. I just like it for
swimming with the sharks, the snorkeling, the outbacking, checking out all the really cool stuff, the zoos, the warmth.
I was just gonna say
they've got some of the most venomous snakes in the world that I want to see.
None of that, but I'll take the meat pies. Yeah, that's good. And
I think you and I are on different planes.
Probably. And then I would likely get kicked out for effectively just quoting back the one Simpsons episode about it to everybody I see, feeling like we're all on the same joke. You know, like just walking around saying, so you've played Knifey Spoony before. They probably turned the plane around. Okay, with the exception of Fire Flood season.
Yeah, just like to the East Coast, you'll do fine with the exception of Fire/Flood season, and you got him rolling
like you do. What's going out there? Fire flood. Don't worry. Like, so do you dive under the water so you don't go up to the fire, or you know what? It's all right. I'm in Chicago. We only have one season. It's called Fuck You.
You know what it is? It's a fire flood. It's a mashup like what you got going on.
Okay, mashups. I love it.
I love it.
Every time the conversation comes back around, someone should ring a bell.
Yeah, but see, isn't that why you like this show? Because you get to talk about your stuff and then random stuff and then more about your stuff and then more random stuff.
And no one's ever talked to me for this long, Amanda. I don't even know what to say anymore. This has been great.
I've done this with you this long before. This is why everybody loves my show.
It is true.
Because it's a nice, comfy conversation.
It is. I mean, it feels like a con, except without Kyle staring a hole through me as I'm trying to have a conversation with people. And I'm like, I'm doing the marketing. And he's like, sell more, sell.
But it's Amanda.
It's fun, though. Like, if you really want a fun con game, see how long you can talk to Kyle at a con and watch him twitch and look past you and try to not pitch to somebody else. We've always had the long-standing jokes about, when he's the predator. He he doesn't see people; he sees heat signatures.
Even people like me we're friends, and he's like,
well, this is why Matt and I are there. We act as buffer so that we prevent Kyle from doing that. But every now and again, we will let it happen because it's too funny. Kyle got through, and I am not lying, 20 seconds of our pitch to his own brother before recognizing it was his brother. He had almost finished the pitch, and then he looked up. And then he's like, oh, hi.
He said hi in the blast furnace. That is every day. Yep.
Crikey.
Yeah. No, he's so adorable, and it's so funny. And watching you guys together is really great. And I really do miss seeing you guys at conventions. But I am glad that I will say this, I am glad that some things happened just because it's allowed me to broaden my horizons and be able to get the podcast out in other ways. Matter of fact, my podcast is in the top 10% of podcasts here on Twitch. So
Well, like, and that's the thing. Like, we every year now. So after we finished our last con for the year, whatever it might be, this year it'll be Winnipeg. On those long rides home, we've gotten into the rhythm where we specify. We know that we're going to get somewhere between 4 and 6 shows, all things considered, with kids and everything else, right?
have fun on your stream fuel.
And what would happen now? So my rule of thumb is we've got to pick. Like, there's the standbys. We'll always do C2E2 if we can. Then it's usually down to, like, are there any old shows that we haven't been to in a while? Can we go back? Then there are, where have we never been? And that is crucial because Unshaven Comics, what does so well for us is getting into a new market and ensuring that the pitch always works. Like, that's our litmus test. Like, if we ever do a show and it's just not hitting anymore, we're like, okay, maybe it's time to change tack.
The 2025 Unshaven Comics needs to come to the Gym City Comic Con.
2025?
Because the convention center is going to be worked on next year.
Oh, well,
so it's going to be a very small, tiny space. So very limited people are going to be able to make it in next year. That's what I'm saying. 2025.
I mean, then that's a given. Like, if we know that far ahead, like, okay, done. And the cool thing is, too, I write, and I guess I'm a partner on popculturesquad.com.
Nice.
And PCS and Unshaven Comics are finding ways in 2024 to start tabling together, given that, we're all buddy, and this is the crew that I escaped Comic Mix from. So there's a great story there that I shouldn't tell, but, like, PCS and Unshaven.
We get everything set up, and then in 2025 we fill out our application, and then Amanda puts in the good word with the big boss showrunner, so she's the little boss showrunner, and Amanda gets what she wants.
Yeah, I mean, also, we pay on time and we're good people, so it's rare we don't get into a show unless it's like New York Comic Con or something where, you got to be a thing, and I guess we're not that thing.
Who cares? Do you know what New York City Comic Con is lacking?
Unshaven Comics, mostly. And Amanda. Well, I mean, we did it. We did the show 2 or 3 years, and we never got an artist alley. We always just paid for small press. And we did well. I mean, we sold 758 floppy copies there one year. It's hard to complain about it, but
exactly.
My gripe personally, like, we do these shows because we love connecting with the fans and that, but, like, that aside, you're seeing parts of the country you've never seen, you're experiencing things you may not otherwise experience. So, like, New York City, prior to us doing the show, I had been there once with the only other girl I've ever dated, and literally she took us into Times Square. I dragged her to the WWE restaurant. She dragged me to Pizza Hut, and then we went back to Philadelphia, where she was living. So that was all I knew of New York before we did the Comic-Con. Hilariously, in doing the Comic-Con, we were staying with friends in Weehawken, New Jersey. And what I noted, and every New Yorker I've ever told this to agrees, in our commute from Weehawken to the Javits Center and the Javits Center back, in the biggest city in the world, New York, there is absolutely nothing. Nothing of value, nothing that's not everywhere else in America. There's nothing. There's like a couple of bodegas that people told us do not go into, and that's it. Because Weehawken, you can either take the New Jersey bus to the Port Authority, which if you've never been there, don't. Or you can take the Gypsy Cab, which is a scary bus ride by someone who will let you off where the cops don't come, which is kind of around the corner from the Port Authority. And that walk from the Port Authority to the Javits Center, there's like a Dunkin' Donuts. That's about it. Everything else you're passing is complete garbage. And there's nothing to experience. There's nothing cool. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, the biggest city in the world, and we found the one patch of it that just sucks.
I
And
think that's because that's where people go and disappear.
well, and the funny thing is now, since we've been gone, they finished the subway that goes directly into the Javits Center, so it does expand your ability. And I would say if we ever did return to New York, we probably would not be spending the time with the folks in Weehawken, if only just to change it up. That's a
No offense, guys.
no total offense. We won't cover it. But like it would be fun to stay in a different borough or someplace else in Manhattan that we could still go into the show. But like, I will say, like we did get out to Bushwick in Brooklyn for a really great barbecue experience twice. Sadly, that restaurant closed at the pandemic. I still follow the restaurateur who did it. And he doesn't have another place. Like he said, it kind of ruined it for him. Like he just wants to go and travel and eat and cook like pop-ups. So I give him credit where it's due. At least we got to try his whole hog style barbecue in the middle of Bushwick, in a renovated hardware store is what he turned his restaurant from. It was great. It was great while we were there, and like I said, we walk away with the story, and it definitely beats the time that we ate at this restaurant across from the Port Authority, where I will never forgive the city of New York for this. It was just a stupid dive bar. We all ordered burgers. The waitress says, "You want some tater tots instead of fries?" And I was like, "Hell yes, I do." I had to pay $5 for that upgrade, and they gave me 6 tater tots. 6 little artisanal, unseasoned bullshit tater tots. And I just remember that Matt saw my face and he saw the plate, and we all just had a moment. I was like, yep, I hate New York. I hate everything about it. And funny enough, the next show we did was in Ohio, and it was in Dayton, I think. And we ate at some bar in Dayton and got burgers. The guy says, "You want tater tots?" I'm like, "Yeah." I paid 50 cents, and I got a basket I couldn't finish. Like, God bless the Midwest.
Yay, Ohio!
Hey, Unshaven Comics, double thumbs up.
Thank you for that, because my brain was still trying to function that New York thing, and it doesn't compute.
It's
My
somewhere on
my EXU just stopped working on that one.
That's somewhere on my Facebook. I'd have to go deep dive to find like it on the memories, but like, yeah, I just remember, and they weren't even good. It was so like, it was so indicative of that experience. And like our hosts, God love them, they were trying so hard to like make it good for us. But like, and the thing is, I don't want to flex the whole pizza back and forth between cities, because Chicago, native born here, the deep dish stuff is for tourists. We like it just fine, but when Chicagoan thinks pizza, we're like a tavern style pie. It's thin crust. It's usually what we call party cut, so it's cut in squares. Yeah, so that's normal pizza to us. The New York floppy slice for $1 is worth exactly $1. And
it's always greasy, like way too greasy. Not normal pizza greasy, like pour that you see the grease pour off of it, and it's like,
I mean, it's built for the drunks. I get it. I can respect it from afar, but like, if someone wants to hold that up to a tavern pie in Chicago, they can go to hell. But like,
see, I will say, whether it's deep dish or if it's regular pizza or whatever it is, Chicago beats everyone when it comes to pizza.
It's one of the few things here we do super duper well, I'd like to think. And yeah, we do good on pizza. I mean, I don't say, like, I've not had a great experience in New York, culinarily speaking, and I'm sure it could be rectified one year. But thus far as like food, towns, and things that we've done, because again, Matt and I are the ones that like seek this stuff out. Kyle could care less. Ohio has always been good to us. Any show we've done there. We've done Philly a couple of times now, and it's funny, I've wanted to go get like the cheesesteak at like one of the places. Mm-hmm. We've always shied away from it because street parking, don't know where I'm going. And we've ordered it like takeout style, and it's been okay. Not writing home about it, but it was fine. Funny enough, we've done Dragon Con in Atlanta. This will now be our 6th time. And we've yet to find like a super memorable, great experience. Like we've had a couple of places that have been okay. A friend of ours told us we had to go try the Varsity, and we went there, and it was like, look, if you're going to the stadium for the game and you just want some fast food that's not McDonald's, we get it. But like to tell us this is where we need to go, or like if I wanted fast food that's normal like any other fast food, like I've had this before.
I'll be honest, all the years that I used to go to Dragon Con and I just went to the little mall strip right underneath everything, I was busy.
Now we're all old fatherly dorks. We stay out in like Smyrna or Marietta or Alpharetta or anything with an Etta, because we'll just stay at the mom and pop hotel, and we'll travel in. It's the one thing, like I've got sense memory. I know where to go for America's Mart. I know where to park. I know where to get our car out, and we do that every year. We're excited to do it again here at the tail end of this month. And
yeah, but as you can see, like in this picture, you can tell I'm in my early 20s at Dragon Con, right?
Mhm.
So obviously I'm staying at one of the hotels that the show's at, going to all the parties and doing everything that I possibly could. And it really didn't hurt that that day I was nice and fit and ready to go.
And the very first year we did Dragon Con, so we were told by another person in the alley at a different show, they're like, they saw our stuff and they're like, dude, go to Dragon Con. It's a license to print money. You'll make bank. Do it. So the first year we went was the last year Artist Alley was in the hotels. We were in the basement, and we still were staying outside of the city, but like, the first night you come in, we pulled in, or I should say, and I'll end on this anecdote. So like we go to Dragon Con the first year. We don't know anything about the city. So I just look up a cheap hotel that it's a chain we recognize or whatever, and we pull in first. So we get into Atlanta, and the first thing we do is unload the car. So we get to the show, we park at the hotel, we pay whatever, $30 for the parking, and we get our little hand cart, and we come into the lobby of the hotel, and it is already Nerd Mardi Gras. Just wall to wall, people in costumes, breathing heavy and hugging each other, and we're looking like, does anyone know where the Artist Alley is? Awful. So that we eventually find our slot, we go down, we empty it. There's actually a video on Unshaven Comics Facebook page. You can see us setting up the table for the first time. We are dead tired. Get in the car afterwards, drive off into our hotel, which was in city limits. I think it was called like University City or something like that.
Okay.
It's a hotel, but no, it's a motel. The door goes right to the outside. I'm like, oh, okay. And we empty our stuff out. The floor of our motel, sticky.
Ew.
Oh, yeah. So now we're like, well, let's just go get dinner. And Kyle noticed a Wendy's in the adjacent parking lot. He's like, guys, can we please just go to Wendy's? Kyle does not want anything fancier than Wendy's. And we're like, okay, fine. So we go to the Wendy's, and there's a cop in the vestibule in between the front door and the restaurant. And we sit in the restaurant, we eat our food, and he's still there the whole time.
Yeah.
So we finish our food, and we go, and Matt just gets up, and he's like, screw this. And he goes to the door, and he talks to the cop, and he comes back. He's like, so the cop is stationed in this Wendy's.
Yeah.
And he looks at us, and he looks at our car, and he goes, where are you staying? We point, and he looks at it. He goes, you should be safe. Just says it like that. You should be safe. And I just looked at Matt and Kyle like, we survived. We slept. We got up immediately in the morning, and we got the fuck out of Dodge and went right into the show. We did the whole show. And you know that Dragon Con is Labor Day weekend, so you are there through Monday at 5:00. Now, in any other case, we would stay the night and then leave the next morning fresh and we can get home. Because of that hotel and the things we heard overnights, that show came out at 5 o'clock. Our car was loaded. We hauled ass and got home to Chicago at like 4 in the morning, and never again. So after that, we went to Facebook and I said, hey, if you live in Atlanta, please instant message me. Got a few people. I said, where can we stay that will never be like this again? And some gal told me, she's like, Smyrna, Marietta, Alpharetta. Any of those suburbs are exactly what you're used to. You poor, poor white kid.
You poor white kid. Yeah, because if the traffic doesn't kill you, because the traffic's a whole nother ball game in that place.
It is
50 miles an hour, 80.
Since they moved us specifically into America's Mart, like we get into town no problem, we park no problem, and it's an interesting experience. It's not as cool as the first year, admittedly. Being in the basement, that was our first wave of humanity, like this undulating, unending wave.
Okay, so when you went, you said through Monday. Now, was the show still? Was it just a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday show, or had it already moved to Thursday and Wednesday?
Nothing for us in Artist Alley has ever been more than Thursday setup, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And to be dead honest, we couldn't do it any longer than that. Like as a fan, absolutely.
Oh, as a fan now? See, when I went, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
So we'd always leave Monday morning because by Monday we had already finished everything that we needed to do anyway.
Sure.
We would get in Wednesday night or Thursday morning and go the weekend. And then it moved to where now the fans come in on like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm just like, it's a week-long thing for a fan nowadays.
I mean, it's Nerd Mardi Gras.
It really is.
I've always told people, anyone who cared to listen to this, if I were only a fan again, the two shows I would ever consider traveling out to would be Dragon Con because of the sheer amount of programming, which we've never been able to take advantage of. It's always just like, it's amazing to me that like whatever your very specific nerd thing is, we've got it. And Baltimore. We've done Baltimore twice. We love Baltimore because that to me remains one of the very few comic focused, comic first shows. Like
yeah. I agree with Dragon Con. I would have to say San Diego would be my other one just because I haven't been. And it's the only way I'm ever going to be able to kidnap Seth MacFarlane and bring him home.
True enough. You know what? Like, it's not that we wouldn't ever have interest of seeing San Diego, but Unshaven Comics has tried. And
you're a comic company, though.
And we, like, the thing is, if we can't drive it, we can't do it. And why is because there's three of us. That's the only reason. And we recognize it now because, like, I've had friends that have been out to West Coast shows like Dan Doherty and whatnot that have done like Emerald City and have done really, really well. And it's not that we wouldn't want to do it, but I'm sitting there going, I can't ship an entire table's worth of material and afford three people's round trip airfare.
Right.
And there's no way we're going to drive that.
And in all honesty, a comic centric show where it's all about the comics versus more on your Hollywood celebrity stuff.
Yeah.
This one makes more sense.
Now, the thing is, like, I follow all of my friends that did Artist Alley in San Diego. Now, I know this year is a different beast, but, you know, they always do well because it's still a Comic-Con underneath all of the good stuff. And I'm pretty sure we would do about as well as we would do at a C2E2 or a New York or something else like that. And it's just one of those things. Like, we've done great shows anywhere we can drive. So we've been as far west as Denver. We've been as far south as Atlanta, as far north, technically Minneapolis, and now Winnipeg. We'll take that. You know, so we've done New York, Toronto, Winnipeg, Philadelphia, Baltimore, a couple cities in New Jersey. I mean, we've been all over now because we're in our 15th year of doing it. Mm-hmm. So for us, it really is like that. Every year it's like, well, where haven't we been? / where haven't we been in a while? Can we go back? So like this year, Kyle was like, we have to do Philadelphia or Washington, D.C., which we had just done the previous year. And I'm like, why? He goes, because we did so well.
Great, Desile and Jennifer Hill. Nice.
Very cool. And we also were thinking, shoot.
Mark, I got it. I know exactly what we do. We do a collaboration between Unshaven Comics and AGP, and we get like a tour bus, and then we go to San Diego that way.
You know what? If we can make all of that, because yeah, you have to go through Illinois to get us anyway. So, I mean, obviously the hope here, right, is that people who are watching this, again, top 10 creator, we know somebody right now mid-strike is looking for content, and he hears Samernauts, and he's like, how is this not a thing? So by the time we get to 2025, Samernauts will already be on its third movie, clearly. And
no, not movie. It's going to be a complete, total, amazing new anime.
You know, that's it'd be really interesting which direction it could go. I would love it to be anime. I mean, it could be, depending. Actually, what I'd really like it to be, in the same vein as the way the book's made, I would want it to be multiple things. I would want it to have live action. I'd want it to have an anime style, like a Western style. It all mattered. Like that's.
You know what happens? We take it, and since you have all the different books coming, each one becomes one of the different styles.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like that was the whole point. Like when we did the very first book in Genesis, like the joke of how the Samernauts was introduced was a third party, a character in our framing device called the White. This guy was confronted by an all-powerful fifth dimensional being, and he was like, you know, in this dimension you can make anything you'd like, and you know, thinking that he was going to have dreams of grandeur or become a god or whatever. I mean, our guy's like, you know what I want to see? I want to see this lost episode of the Samernauts that I didn't see when I was a kid growing up, that goes through the secret origin of Master Al. I want to see that. And the fifth dimensional being's like, you dumbass, you could be a god. And he's like, shut up, Samernauts. And then the TV pops up, and then the issue, the Samernauts that you're reading, is the reenactment of the cartoon that he was watching. And we just stripped the framing device out, and we're like, oh, people are just fine with this as is.
Oh, yeah.
Which was strange. Like, why wouldn't we have known that? Yeah, so it's like, well, we joke, but we don't. It is a book that very much writes itself, and it allows us to explore every type of genre, everything. Like for us, it's all about like, you know, the whatnots. So I said, if you really want to have fun, if you go to unshavencomics.com, go to the Samernauts page, you'll notice like midway down, there's a whole bunch of teams in a timeline, including a lot of them that we haven't shown you. One included is drawn by Don Kramer, which is so freaking awesome that I'm trying to find a way for us to afford to pay him to make that book. And then we even include the last Samernaut team ever in time. They're all transforming robots. Because, of course. It's all...
The mysterious Samerbots from the end of time.
Yep. It's all in there. Because, like, for us, we're building mythology. It's too much fun not to do. And we're just getting ahead of the fans before we hear them starting to come up. Yeah, there you go. So... there's our little splash image I made. Very fun. And then we talk about their origins, talk about Master Al, and then there you go, Samernauts throughout time. There you go. Right now, those buttons don't do anything other than flip, but eventually you'll be able to click.
They remind me of Pogs.
Yes. Eventually be able to click them, and then you'll get like a little pop-up, some kind of animatic or something fun. But yeah, those are like all the teams. It's actually a timeline that goes top left to right, and then bottom left to right. And we'll keep adding to our villain list and all that other fun stuff. So,
and remember, if you need to contact them, they have a contact place. You can check out all the cool comics, including the newest one that just came out, The Samernauts to the Max, written and drawn by Marc, our guest tonight.
Yes, buy it. And there's our tray. There's our Curse of the Dreadnoughts. There's Genesis. That's the Secret Origin one-shot. Then if you want some Kyle books, there you go. Bloom's Heist on the Magical Girl Vault and Toolbox. all ages friendly, by the way. All books are all ages friendly, but that doesn't mean they're cutesy wootsy. They are
No.
good old fashioned adventures.
They're
It's what we had.
they are really great comics, and I absolutely love them. Well, let me rephrase this. I love Samronauts because that's the one I know. That's the one I've read. So I can. If the other comics are just as good as that, then they're going to be great comics. But I will tell you that I am a fan of the Samronauts. You should be a fan of the Samronauts. So please make sure that you find them at Unshaven Comics, their website, Instagram, Facebook. That's how you find them. And remember, all that info and all the new info, including the Poke mashups, if you go there, you'll be able to find that information too.
Yes. You go through any of those channels, they all go to me. For sure. You could also go to markallenfishman.com. That's like my professional wizard needs a job site. So you can also reach me there, and that's also got links to Unshaven Comics and Poke mashups and other fun stuff as well. So all roads lead to me. If you put Marc Allen Fishman, that whole phrase, somewhere into your Google box, a beard and a Jewish guy will appear. 99% of the time it's me. Funny enough, don't Google like Marc Fishman comics, or because Marc Fishman, spelled the way I spell it, is actually a Magic the Gathering artist from Finland. Yeah, who actually was very nice because we share a name. Our first table we ever got was free because those idiots didn't Google. And we thought we made it. Like Wizard World way back in the day, they're like, Marc Fishman? Yes. Would you like a table? I'm like, yes, I would.
Yes, I would.
And then we got the table, and then Matt calls me. He's like, have you been to the website? I was like, no, why? He's like, they have your name up there. I'm like, okay. And he's like, and he's showing me, he's like, that's not your picture. And it's like some old bald dude with a big gray beard and his magic cards. And I'm like,
surprise!
He's like, oh, poop. So every now and again, I will get people that'll come to the booth and they'll have a magic card, and they'll be like, it is you. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm sorry. The funny thing is, every time that's come up, and it's come up at least a dozen times, they're like, would you still sign it?
That's cute.
I guess, but I'm like, not you. And well, they're like, well, he's from Finland. I guess I'm never seeing him. So I'd rather have a Marc Fishman than the Marc Fishman. I was like, yeah, sold. Here you go.
All right, Marc. Well, we're going to have to go ahead and end it because, no offense, I got to pee.
I've been pissing this whole time.
Oh, well, lucky you.
Not really. It's a mess down there.
But thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me. And like all the plugs, like I'm going to go back and watch it on YouTube, count all the plugs. And I believe previously it's $100 per plug, right?
Right.
Okay. And you take out of state post data checks, right?
Yes, of course. But only from you.
Right. A Marc Fishman.
Yes.
Not
but
Marc.
Yeah. I will let you know when it goes up on YouTube, and if you saw the thumbnail that I used, so the Amanda Gillen Presents will be that's all they need to do to find it on Twitch. Plus, the promo had the link to the Twitch thing, so they'll be able to find it.
Plus, I'm a subscriber. I'll find all of it.
But I will let you know as soon as. That's why they needed to invent toilet chairs.
Anything can be a toilet chair if you believe Darth Megatron. Anything. I believe in you. On that note,
guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the comics. Bye.
Bye. Stand.